Hey everybody, how's it going? So, tonight is gonna be an interesting build. We're going with Windgrace Umori Super Friends. So, Jund Super Friends, basically. Using Windgrace as our commander and Umori the Collector as our companion. I've never built with Umori the Collector before, but I have built with Windgrace, so I'm kind of used to Jund land builds. This is going to be fun because we're going to be able to play with a bunch of planeswalkers. And, well, that's where we're at right now. We have one card in the board and one card in the sideboard. And that's just Arami and Windgrace here. So, let's look at what planeswalkers we've got. I like to order my searches by CMC because I think that's easiest to start building from is the bottom. Of course, Renin 6 and Renin 7 are going in this deck. Like, if it's lands, I gotta have them. Renin 7, Renin 6. I think it's absurd that Renin 6 has to be 86 freaking dollars. 90 freaking dollars. It's absurd. Print me more Renin 6. Even though I'm glad we're getting Renin 7. But I want Renin 6 too. Am I allowed to run Valky? Because technically it does share type. I'm running Valky. If I think I can get tricky with it. Yeah, I'm gonna get cheeky with it. He's gonna be the one creature in the deck because it can switch into a walker. I'd do Bolas too if I could. I think Chandra Acolyte of Flame is gonna be a bit rough. I don't think she's worth it. Actually, wait. Oh. I can run a few other creatures if flip creatures aren't a problem. So they technically count, right? So maybe... Every time you cast a red spell, untap Chandra. If Chandra is dealt 3 or more damage. Oh, that's actually still pretty easy to do with red. I just need a red walker. Oh. Chandra Acolyte of Flame sacrifices the walker. Sacrifices the token. I don't think she's worth it then. No, I can't justify Tibalt in this deck. I can justify new Tibalt, but I can't justify old Tibalt, which makes me kind of sad, but I can't. Duretti is actually great. Dar ready. Ingenious Iconoclast, you know. The Scrap Savant might... No, I don't run any artifacts. Davriel doesn't do anything to help me. Domri Anarch of Bolas doesn't do anything. Yeah, he gives me mana, but he can't protect himself. And he only really works with creatures, so he's out. Same with 3 mana Domri. Not even gonna look at Freyalise because she's from the digital pack. Jeska, also kind of a no. Because I'm probably not going to play my commander all that often. Or at least I don't want to be. What does Grist do? As long as Grist the Hunger Tide isn't on the battlefield, it's a 1/1 insect creature in addition to its other types. Okay. Create a 1/1 black and green insect creature token with then mill a card. If an insect card was milled this way, put a loyalty counter on Grist. Okay. You may sacrifice creature. Never gonna have. Actually, depending on how many I get that make tokens, might be able to do it. Creature or planeswalker. Nah. Grist ain't in it. I don't think I'll be able to flip Liliana Heretical Healer without the other Nissa Vastwood Seer, though. Vastwood? Yeah, Nissa Vastwood. Hmm. I think I run Liliana the Dark Realms just on. She's a land walker. Liliana of the Veil hurts everybody equally with the discard, but nah. Voice of Zendikar makes tokens. I want walkers that make me bodies and walkers that give me land value. Those are the main two types of walkers I want to build this deck around. So Voice of Zendikar helps me here. Sarkhan Fireblood is good card draw, but can only help me cast dragons. Sorin works on creatures and vampires at that, so no. Tibalt Rakish Instigator, worth it. He's nice. I like Tibalt. I don't care about casting creature spells. Angrath makes a dude, so he's at least in the primary build. That's something I like to think about when I'm building a deck, is like, what do I think of in the initial stages of building the deck? That's like that's the cards I puke out into the first 100. And then after that, I basically just work on fine-tuning what I need the deck to do. I think Arlen goes in here because she makes me tokens on a 0. Like, I don't need... And she transforms on the 0 too. She gives you a wolf and then she transforms to buff wolves. Okay. Alright, Arlen. I think both of your versions are actually worth putting in here because the other one also makes a wolf. It's 6 mana, but creates a wolf. And it's a 3/3 wolf at that, at 6 mana. And she can do it a couple times before dying. So I think she's worth putting in. For now, you know. Before we fine tune everything. Whenever one or more... Oh, Chandra Fire Artisan hurts my opponents for dealing with my walkers. I guess I should say that Walker Tribal is pretty important for this deck as well. I don't really care about ones that just straight up produce me mana. Except for Chandra Torch of Defiance, because her double pluses. Oh, magnifique. Dreddy's good churn, but not what I'm looking for right now. Eliwick Tumblestrom. Ooh, I get to run a dungeon if I run Eliwick. Top 6, reveal creature card from among them, put them into your hand. It's a legendary, you gain 3 life, put the rest on the bottom of your eliminator border. Nope, I'm never going into the dungeon. Garruk Relentless, he makes a dude and he fights. Super Friends is going to be a rough one for people to have to deal with here. Karn the Great Creator and Karn Sign of Urza, of course. Garruk Unleashed wants creatures. He makes a token. And it's a -1 if an opponent has more creatures than me. But I can't plus him. Wild Speaker is great though. Koth is iffy. Actually, no, I'll run Koth. I think there's there. Oh no, all my non-land cards have to be able to be walkers. We'll figure it out. We'll figure out a way to abuse Koth. Liliana untouched by death. Put the top 3 cards of your library into graveyard if at least one of them is a zombie. Nope. Each player discards a card. Each opponent who can't loses through life. For 4 mana, I'd rather she make dudes. Nissa's got Shadowfall. Or Shadowfall, I mean Landfall. So this Jund Windgrace Super Friends deck is gonna be interesting to say the least. Nissa of the Shadowed Boughs, because Landfall. Yeah, so looking for basically walkers that either have land-based value or tokens. To reiterate what we're going for here. Nah, Nissa chosen, ain't it? Sorry, Submit, you're too creature-oriented. Same thing with you, Sarkin. Tyvar Kel has a 0 that makes me dudes, so thus Tyvar Kel can be in my build. Sacrifice another permanent if you do game and life and draw a card. Vraska Golgari Queen. Do I get to run? Oh, I'll finish reading Vraska first, but I saw Zariel there. Zariel's fire. Yes. Thank you for popping in, Wyvern. Just this is gonna be Jund Super Friends using Umori and Windgrace here, and Umori being freaking a cost reducer that I can put in my hand on turn 2 or 3. That's also a decent body to protect any of my like 2 or 3 drop walkers, or all my walkers in general. Is pretty nice. There's gonna be a lot of card value that I just get from existing in this game. So the hard part is gonna come with all of my non-land cards have to be planeswalkers. Every single one. That's the rough. Yes, I can run Umori with Flipwalkers in the main board because they do count as planeswalkers. But the only ones I've found so far worth running are Valky and Nissa Vastwoodseer. So we're going to look and see if there's any more as I go through the whole list of walkers in Jund by CMC. I just made it to the 4 drops. Or I'm about to finish the 4 drops, actually. I just added Tyvar Kel. I'm debating on Vraska Golgari Queen. I don't have ways of returning my walkers because Walker Tribal is hard enough in green, especially when you can't run non-walker cards. So I'd only be able to... Wait, I can cycle my lands. What am I talking about? She says another permanent. Oh, Vraska, you dog. And ELD Garuk. 6 mana Chandra. Haven't gotten there yet because I'm going by CMC, but ELD Eldraine Garuk. Oh yeah, Eldraine Garuk is probably gonna end up in here. But so far I think one of the spiciest adds I could have gotten into the build so far is Torch of Defiance. She's like insane here, and Arlen Cord surprisingly, because she gets me wolves and fights things. But like I was explaining before you got on, there's a way I build my decks, and like I have a first draft of them, which is just these are all cool things that I think would fit. and then I start pruning, and then I look for other things that might fit into the build, like that help it where it's going to suffer. And this deck is going to suffer in its early game just because, well, I can't run artifact ramp, I can't run instant sorcery ramp. I'm stuck on walker ramp. Vraska Swarm's Eminence. I think I need her just because she's more makes tokens. Like, I already have Ren and 7 in here because it's a land deck. And I have 6 mana Arlen. Probably going to cut her just because her passive isn't all that great. I only make a few wolves in the deck, like with Garruk Relentless, OG Arlen, and Arlen Voice of the Pack, so she's probably on the chopping block. But we'll get there when we get there. I think Xenagos the Reveler is worth putting in here, because he makes me Satyrs and Xenagos. Don't ask me to spell. Ask me to tell a story. Don't ask me to spell. I think Zariel is also really good here because she makes devils. That's like basically, that's how OG or War to Bolt made it in here. Depletion lands for extra mana value, yeah, and mana fixing, so I can recast them from my graveyard using, or like just pull them back from my graveyard using Windgrace. I like that. Xenagos' Satyrs cannot block. Oh no, they just have haste. So yes, they can block. That is very important. Thank you for bringing that up. Is Engrath worth it? I get to take other people's creatures, but I also get to abuse people's hands with it. Untap it, it gains haste in the turn. Sacrifice at the beginning of the next end step if it has converted mana cost 3 or less. That's rude. I can take Hate Bears with that. Engrath the Flame Chained, you're in for now. Chandra Heart of Fire is a little too extreme for me. Discard your hand, then exile top 3 cards of your library. Until end of turn, you may play those cards. That's a lot. Engrath plus OG Vraska. Take 3 drops. Hi, Shar. Freyalise, Land of Wars, Fury, and Garruk Primal Hunter are actually pretty solid. Okay. Land of Wars, Fury, and Garruk Primal Hunter. Planeswalkers are a weird one to have to build around for me, because I don't usually build around Planeswalkers. Jaya, Venerated Fire Mage. No, doesn't give me a dude. Doesn't really get me, doesn't really have land value. Liliana Death's Majesty makes me dudes, though. And she says, put the top 2 cards of your library into your graveyard when I do it. That's rough. Because I can't return walkers with her. And her ult's only a non-zombie board wipe. Maybe in the zombie deck that I'm building for another day. Liliana Death's Majesty. Liliana Vess, she's a tutor, but she's targeted for the discard, and that's a little rough because EDH being a group game. we're gonna add Lolth because she's kind of insane. Lolth, the Spider Queen, loves to make death. Nah, she has, whenever a creature control dies, she gets a loyalty counter. Her 0 is just draw a card, lose a life, which is fucking phenomenal. She has a -3, even though she starts at 4 loyalty, so it's a little rough. But she creates 2 2/1 black spider tokens with menace and reach. So they're hard to block, and they're really good at blocking. So she's just all around really good with her first 2 abilities. And then even this one, with the amount of tokens we'll be making with other walkers, makes her pretty solid. So we're going to keep her around. Windgrace is our commander, so we don't even need to look at him. Luca, I already know, is creature based, so I'm just going to skip him. Nissa Vital Force untaps lands, and Nissa Who Shakes the World gives my forest extra. We're going to start with Nissa Who. And Nissa Voice. Is it Voice? Yeah, Vital. Nissa the Vital. Today is Planeswalker Tribal in Jund. And Jund is red, green, and black. So our colors are really good at making tokens, churning lands, and this time around we're using Planeswalkers, which are an interesting type of permanent that are basically like your allies in the multiverse. They're like a second player that comes to help you out, and your opponents can choose to either leave them alone and let them sit on the battlefield, or to attack them instead of you. And sometimes getting rid of them is much more important than getting rid of the player behind them. Yeah, Green Urborg, like, I'm just gonna add those since you talked about them already with Wyvern, because they are Urborg, Tomb of Yawgmoth, and Yavimaya are gonna be our insane lands here. But again, our Planeswalkers are more about getting us land-based value and tokens. So that's the criteria that we're choosing from Planeswalkers on the list for. If they draw me cards, it's even better. I don't know if I like Nissa Worldwaker. Oh wait, she says on tap 4 forests. Never mind. Even though we're getting to like the 5 drops, and I think Obnixilus the Black Oath makes me demons who have flying, and he drains me life. Obnixilus is usually inexpensive, like mana-wise, not necessarily card-wise. We want Obnixilus of the Black Oath here. Yeah. Because he makes me a 5/5 demon with flying. And flying is a rare ability on walkers in my colors, so getting the variety is going to be really important. Obnixilus Reignited draws me cards. Well, it draws me a card and loses me 1 life or destroys a creature. I don't think Obnixilus the Hate Twisted is going to work here either. I'm going to add Reignited for now because we're at the upper end. Of walkers now. Rowan, the Fearless Spark Mage, affects creatures, so she's already kind of on the chopping block. Yeah, no. Her second ability deals damage. Yeah. The land base is going to have to be super tight. I don't think I added Tevish yet, but Tevish is great because he gives me tokens as well. Vivian, Monsters Advocate, creates a token. Oh, Vivian. I don't think any of the Vivians are really going to make it in here. Sarkhan the Masterless, however, makes my walkers into creatures. Not Sarkhan, Sarkhan. Because Sarkon the Mad only works for dragons, so he's for another day. Vraska the Unseen. She protects herself and comes as a pretty hefty piece of removal, considering she can hit any non-land permanent. I'll add her for now. She's good. She's good. Vraska the Unseen. Oh yeah, Vivian tokens giving reach is insanely good. That's one of the main reasons Lolth is in here. Angrath deals 1 damage to target opponent and each creature. Already got Renin 7 because Renin 7 is crazy. I'm gonna go more in depth on the walkers as we're like once I finish adding them, but now we're getting to a lot of like the heavy hitter walkers. The 6 mana plus walkers are the ones that you're just like, get that thing off the board, or it's just garbage. Like either they're insane or they're garbage once you hit 6 mana on a walker. Chandra Awakened Inferno can't be countered. That's already a real good plus. Like, it's just her passive. Each opponent gets an emblem with, at the beginning of your upkeep, the emblem deals 1 damage. Alright, puts them on a turn clock. Deals 3 damage to each non-elemental. Okay. Kind of niche. And she has a minus X, though. X damage to target creature or planeswalker. If a permanent dealt damage this way would die, exile it instead. Huh. Damn, that's rough. That would be rough. I don't think she's good enough, though. Chandra Bold Pyromancer gives me more mana, but she doesn't really do lands. She does damage. Okay. Chandra Flamecaller is really good to hold on to into the mid. Oh, she gives me tokens too. Oh, yeah, they don't stick. She creates 6 damage in tokens that don't stick and don't have trample, but her 0 is kind of crazy and her ult is X damage to each creature, so she's minimum 6 mana for a board wipe. Or 4 damage board wipe. It's actually not that bad. Because I no longer, at this point in the game, I don't care if they make tokens anymore. I care if they can remove creatures or planeswalkers or other threats. Like, it's a bonus if they can give me mana or tokens here, but for the most part I'm looking for card advantage and board control, because if I'm at 6 mana, I want more. I need to either be finishing out the game or be getting massive value, getting me to a point where I can finish out the game. Honestly, I've just slowly added Zuko's phrase to my everyday lexicon just because I love saying it. Whenever something bad goes down, I'm just like, that's rough, buddy. Oh. Nobody told me that the chat can't be seen. Let me fix that. I wish that this had dark mode. I'm pretty sure it doesn't. Nope, not worth it. We're just gonna keep the search going. Okay, so we just got past the Chandras. Now, Domries are bad here just because they're also very creature based. Ah yes, Eldring Garuk. 6 mana, makes dudes, and destroys creatures. That's what I want from my big burly bear men. Did I say that out loud? I totally said that out loud. Big burly bear men it is. This is definitely a flavor of the day deck. Like, I think it's gonna be hard to pilot um, just because of like the sheer fact that I can only run walkers. I already can tell it's gonna run into some iffy territory. We're gonna have like probably 50-ish lands, just because if it's not a walker, it has to be a land. Those are the only cards I'm allowed to have in this deck. I wish there were more green walkers that looked for other walkers, because a lot of green walkers only look for creatures. A lot of black walkers deal with sacrificing creatures or destroying creatures. And then red walkers are just all over the fucking place. Either they make tokens or they just fucking burn things. That's it. Yeah. Again, I guess. Well, Liliana Dreadhorde General is one of those good above 6 walkers, because she has a nice passive considering how many tokens I make. She has create a 2/2 black zombie creature token. Already love that. Each player sacrifices 2 creatures. She can come down immediately and do that. That can hurt some go tall strategies or very minimal creature strategies. And then all of the ults are irrelevant to my decision making process when it comes to playing these walkers, because I don't expect any of them to ult. I expect them all to just accrue enough value that they can't, and be too many that my opponent can't deal with them. So Liliana Dreadhorde General. Yeah, I was looking at Eliwick, and I'm not sure how I feel about Eliwick, just because Eliwick is her other abilities don't do much for me. Like, the dungeons I'd have to look at specifically before I could make a true decision on whether or not Eliwick would be worth it in this deck, so I just skipped over her. Is Wardomri the really expensive mana one? No. He's the 3 mana one, right? Is Rowan worth it? During target player's next turn, each creature that player controls attacks if able. That might not be okay for me. Rowan Kenrith deals 3 damage to each tapped creature target player controls. Okay, so she forces an attack and then hurts them for attacking. And -8 is irrelevant. And she can partner with her brother, and she can be your commander. What does Second Dragon Soul do? 6 mana plus 2 is deal 1 damage to each opponent and each creature your opponents control. 4 damage to target player planeswalker. And ult's irrelevant if I'm on the first 2. Soren Markov is an auto include. By the time I get to 6 mana, I'm just gonna add Nykthos now, because I know I'll add it later. Soren Vampire Lord, same issue here. He buffs creatures for his plus, and he deals damage to any target, but at the same time, like, 6 mana for 4 damage. I have red walkers that do that for 5. Ugin the Ineffable is card draw value. Well, not even card draw value, he's token generation value, and he makes both of my previous Karns in the list cost less. And I think I should add Karn Liberated, but we'll get to him in a sec. Vivian's creature based, so she's out. Vraska the Relic Seeker makes tokens and destroys permanents. I like that. Destroys only creatures and buffs creatures. Don't like it. Excuse me. Garruk Apex Predator, however, destroys another target planeswalker, so he can't destroy himself. Can make a 3/3 black beast token with Death Touch. Alright, I'm liking that. Can destroy a creature and gain me life equal to its toughness. So big hunt, big win. And ult irrelevant because he has 3 amazing other abilities. Garruk. Oh no, he's the Apex Predator. I want to see Garruk at that level of power again. Like, anybody else want to see Garruk at that level of power again? I want to see him, like, be brute. Like, he was able to just destroy everyone here. I want to see him meet Liliana again, and because she's turned a new leaf, and so is he. Like, would they be willing to fight with each other? Would they be able to get over their differences? Or would Garruk just straight up savage her? Because that axe is not for show, and he has a couple of questions to axe. 7 mana Lily does none of the things I'm looking for. Nissa Genesis Mage. She's 7 mana to untap 2 lands. No. Vraska Regal Gorgon is +1/+1 counters on up to 1 target creature, and it gains menace. Gross. Destroy a creature. Excuse me. So yeah, I think we've hit the end here. I'm gonna add Eliwick just for now while we figure out. And I'm gonna go back and see what Domri looks like again, because I still can't justify Old to Bolt either. You're talking Anarch of Bolas, Domri? That's the one we're talking here. He says creature spells can't be countered. Is this Chandra worth running? 2 damage to target creature player. Damage to target creature. Nah. Chandra Fire of Kaladesh is eh. But I guess Domri Anarch of Bolas is worth having, because if they don't kill him, I get more mana. And he buffs my tokens, so. Now we're on lands. Because we have exactly 46 walkers. 46 walkers in this deck. Valky, Nissa. Liliana only triggers on non-token creatures, her creature version, so I kind of don't want to use her just because I don't have any non-token creatures aside from her and the other creature walkers. I wish I could run Mana Rocks in this deck, but I am entirely stuck on just Planeswalkers. I know, it's rough. It's a rough way to live, but it's how we live in. It's how we're living. But yeah, you're right. Myriad Landscape. And Blighted Woodland. The other auto include comes by the way of... Oh no, I'm forgetting its name. Ancient Tomb. Field of the Dead. We're just going to put both fields in here. Field of Ruin and Field of the Dead. Field of Ruin. Field of the Dead. Ah, yes, Battlefield. The battlefield. The only place I feel at home. Huh. Okay. So we're basically 50-50 because I have like 8 lands so far. We can go back. I wish Jessica was good here. but she needs creatures to really be at her best. Which, actually, I make a lot of creatures, but I don't play Windgrace a lot. If there was another way to run Jund Walkers on top, I would. We're gonna go by lands in Jund, and we're just gonna go through it. I'm gonna go through the mill of it. Okay, that's an interesting question. Can I run flip cards that are also lands in Umori? Because they're technically still lands. They're not lands on their main face. I'm gonna check Gatherer. So we've got Umori the Collector here. Artifacts, creature, Umori's companion requirement, there must be one card type that each non-land card in your starting deck has. For example, if every non-land card is an artifact, creature, enchantment creature, or creature, it is satisfied. But if you have an artifact creature, an artifact, and a creature, it is not satisfied. Land cards in your deck may have any number of additional types that may be shared with other cards or not. So long as it's a land, I can use it. Oh yeah, I get to use modal double-faced cards. Fuck. Ah, Kevin, perfect timing. I just learned that I get to run all the modal double-faced cards I want because they are lands and they are satisfying Umori's cost. But we are making Windgrace Umori Super Friends here. This is going to be sick. Okay. So we're actually going to change this. Allow for partial type matches. We want... Actually, let's start with land creatures. Right here. Land cards in your deck have any number of additional... may have any number of additional types that may be shared with other cards or not. So long as they're a land. It doesn't say that. I'm looking over rulings. Requirement of the companion ability apply only to the starting deck. They do not apply to the sideboard. The companion's other abilities apply only if the creature is on the battlefield. The companion ability has no effect if the card in the starting deck and creates no restriction on putting a card with a companion ability into your starting deck. For example, Zerta may be your starting deck even if your other permanent cards don't have all the activated abilities. You may have only one companion. It doesn't say it only affects the front side. Oh, damn. Alright, let's look at Agadim's Awakening, since that's the first one. Let's see. Is Agadim the Undercrypt enters the battlefield? You may pay 3 life. No, I want... To determine whether it is legal to play a modal double-faced card, consider only the characteristics of the face you're playing and ignore the other faces. Aww. Well, that's the case. Goodbye, Valky. Goodbye, Nissa. We still get Dryad Arbor, though. No, I want to keep the lands. I wanted creatures to work so badly for this deck, but this is gonna be an interesting one to build for sure. Kevin, I just want you to appreciate all the planeswalkers that work for this deck. The criteria I basically was looking at was, does it, one, make me tokens, two, churn for lands or affect my lands, or three, give me like some kind of value in destroying multiple types of permanents or locking out the board in some way. So if you just think about all the Jund walkers that do everything I just suggested, the only problem with this deck is I can't ramp with rocks. This is gonna be hard. These are the only ones that are actually good, because most of the green walkers don't work because they affect only creatures. Most of the red walkers suck because they just burn or churn my hand into my graveyard, which I don't want to do in this deck necessarily, because getting anything out of my graveyard is going to be hard. So I'd rather have the card selection. And three, it's like, I just want to make tokens to have them have to deal with the creatures so that my walkers can sit pretty in defense. I want more walkers, but I don't think I think these are just the cream of the crop. These are the best 45 walkers in Jund. Like, I already get to run three. Actually, I think I run all of the Jund walkers from the Dungeons and Dragons set. I get to run Koth, Liliana, all the Nissas, Freyalise and Tyvar, like Landfall Nissas here. I think this is pretty solid. And it basically just started with Ren in 6 and Ren in 7. Yeah, that Umori is only lands and walkers. That's it. Those are the only things I'm allowed to build with. It's the ultimate restriction. So, a deck built a Palooza. I also get I get two of the most badass Garuks in the game. I already put Nykthos in the deck because of all the walkers that have the same like mana symbols in them. Like, I haven't even looked at what our deck. This is our curve so far. Our 4-drop slot is insane. And then next is our 5, our 6, and then our 3. So we need lands that get us more lands, I guess. Because that's what you came in on, was we were looking at specifically lands. I think I want lands that produce extra mana. Let's go by CMC. Okay, what? That was weird. Okay, they've been sorted by CMC, so all the modal double face stuff with anything on the front will be sent to the back. Now let's find lands. Ancient Tomb's already there. I think Command Tower and Interplanar Beacon need to be added. Excuse me. Gassy. Jeez. I'll make dual lands less of a priority. I want more rainbow lands. So let's go. What is it? Confluence and City of Brass. Yeah, basically Planeswalkers are like the Avengers of the multiverse in Magic. So Super Friends is kind of our cheeky nod to the fact that we're all nerds here. Yeah, there's a shit ton of Jund Walkers, Kevin. Oh no. Just like, have you ever seen Mono Black Super Friends, Kev? That's one of the like one of my favorite Super Friends. I was about to call it like one of the better Super Friends, but pretty much all Super Friends decks are pretty solid. So yeah, we have a pretty decent selection of walkers. I think I need Exotic Orchard. And Reflecting Pool. Just because I need lands that tap for every conceivable color. Jund Panorama just for easy fixing. And the fact that I'm running Field of the Dead. I don't think I can justify any more walkers, especially any more above the 4 CMC slot. I would like to add more under the 4 CMC slot, but that's really just to vault. So we're going to go to 45 lands and see what we can do with man lands. I think man lands are going to be very important for this deck to work out. Blighted Stepway is dope. Oh, Blight Step Pathway. Huh. Never get too confident with your memory on Magic cards, everybody. This deck is weird. You think 40 is going to be the cutoff? Okay. We'll see when we get there, cuz I'm going to try to fill out my land slots for now as if we're trying to get to 100, and then we'll add more walkers as we go later, because really it really is mostly just churning them into my graveyard or putting them on the bottom after just looking at them, because a lot of the walkers only affect creatures. And like I have a lot of walkers that make tokens, but not a lot of creatures in general. Like I have no creatures in this deck. Wish I could run Cabal Coffers, but I can't get to Urborg all that expeditiously. Sea of Brass, Sea of Traders. When you play another land, sacrifice City of Traders. The extra 2 mana is pretty dope. Oh, I should run Treasure Vault. It makes me treasures. That's enough of a reason for me to want to run it. I haven't even gotten to it yet, but I know I'll need it. Again, this is the time where I wish... We do have Umori, and Umori comes out turn 4 pretty much on time every game, just because of the sheer amount of lands we'll be running. Crag Crown Pathway is good. Crystal Vein, alright. And Darkboard Pathway. I'm so glad this color scheme has so many dual lands from Kaldheim. Should I run the Dark Depths combo? Yeah, the cycling lands with cycle 2 are probably going to make it in here. Still wondering. Dark Depths combo? For those of you who don't know the Dark Depths combo, it is Dark Depths and either Vesuva or Thespian Stage. Because basically, when you copy Dark Depths, your card. Actually, no, you can't use Vesuva, but you can use Thespian Stage to copy Dark Depths. If you copy it on the board, Dark Depths immediately sacrifices itself and becomes Mirage. Another way you could do the combo is with Mirage Mirror, but I think it's just funny. You have a point. Dark Depths. Thespian Stage. Vesuva. Mirror Pool. This is gonna be fun. Den of the Bugbear. If you control 2 or more other lands, Den of the Bugbear enters tapped. 4 mana becomes a big 3/2 red goblin that makes more goblins. Fuck it. Might as well. Manlands are gonna be the backbone of most of what I'm doing here anyway. And I want mostly colored ones. Drownyard Temple. Nah. Emergence Zone? Why not? I have Field of the Dead. I'm not. I'm gonna run Snowlands, but I don't think I'll have enough to make Faceless Haven worth it. Fabled Passage is it, though. Unfortunately, I can't run Valakut through this one because I just won't have the ability to run Valakut here. I won't have enough swamps. Firelit Thicket. I think filter lands are worth here. Firelit Thicket, Graven Cairns, and what's the green black filter land? I probably haven't run into it yet, but no. Forbidden Orchard is bad for business. Gaia's Cradle is also bad for business. Gaia Reach Sanitarium, you are great. Gaia Reach Sanitarium might be one of my favorite lands of all time. Gemstone Caverns. Why not? Mystic Sanctuary. Mystic. I'll find it eventually. I can return Ghost Town to my hand, but it only taps for colorless. So no. Yep, Graven Cairns. Grim Backwoods. I really don't think using my tokens like that is gonna help me here. Even though I have such a variety, the walkers that make them are like generally 4 mana plus. So wasting the slot in the Grim Backwoods would be a little rough. I'll probably end up running Pain Lands and then trimming the base to look trimming the land base to look more like the color base of this deck so far, which is surprisingly heavy on green. I was expecting it to be less green, more maybe black, but you know, we'll lean towards mostly green lands that fill out either red or black. Havenwind Battlegrounds enters tapped, but I can use it for 2 mana. Nah, I don't think so, not yet. Hive of the Eye Tyrant. What's the red one? Oh no, not the red one, the green one. It's like Hydra Wood or something. It's in this list. I know because it has Hydra in the name. If it's related, there it is. Lair of the Hydra. Look at this tree-looking motherfucker right here. So cool. I love that cycle of lands. All right, we're at 34 lands. I said I wanted man lands, so Hissing Quagmire is pretty solid. No, in fact. If I were to put Triskaidekaphile in any deck, it would well, it's a wizard first off, so Azami, Lady of Scrolls, already loves it. Triskaidekaphile is my current favorite mono blue win condition, and I will eventually put it in something. I don't know exactly where, but it will be in something. Karn's Bastion, of course. I need that proliferation. Labyrinth. Lava Claw Reaches actually can get there. Raging Ravine is the green-red one. He says don't trust your gut when thinking magic cards, right? But also knows so many magic cards off the top of his head. I've been playing for so long. Fetch lands are going to be a big one to add. You think Twilight Mire's worth it? I mean, I'm in M's already, so I'm almost there. Nesting Grounds lets me move count. Oh my god, that's amazing. It says move from permanence. That's crazy. So Nesting Grounds would let me move loyalty counters between my walkers. Yeah. Bajuka Bog. I kind of glossed over the storage lands, but you're right, Kevin. For once, you're advocating the storage lands, and I forgot about them. That's actually really funny. I'm going to add them next. Prismatic Vista was the one I'm thinking of. Yep, Raging Ravine. Don't really care about Reliquary Tower. How many more pages do I have to go? I have another like 3 pages left of just lands to look through. That's crazy. How many lands they've printed. Yeah, I've got Golgari Nissa. She's crazy in here. I wish there were more ways to like abuse getting multiple land triggers, but most of my walkers don't help with that regard. spawning pool can become a skeleton. Spawning bed can become a bunch of Eldrazi. Springjack pasture. Huh. Goats? I mean, it's a 5 mana investment to make a goat, so maybe not. Biblioplex. Instants and sorceries. Nope. Don't want to become the monarch either. Twilight Mire. That's the one. Okay. Yes. Fuck it. Yeah, I'll add Tabernacle. That card's kind of absurd. And like literally just made my deck $5,000, but you know, it's just Tabernacle. Fucking Tabernacle. Why is it reprint Tabernacle? Why is this card $4,000? It's so absurd. What's that? Mystifying Maze, I think, is the other one. Not Mystifying Maze. I know it's on the reserved list. It was printed before 1997. But that can't... I still want it back. Okay, I never actually had it. Maze of Scophos. And yeah, it's on the reserved list. So long as Wizards of the Coast never reprints this card, its price will only ever go up. So long as there's value. Maze of Ith, that's the one. Yep. I can actually, like, there's enough lands in this deck that I can run the ones that don't even. Oh yeah, all Planeswalkers were made legends retroactively, huh? So I guess that's doable. Ooh, Urza's Saga. Wait. Make a dude, search your library for an artifact card, mana cost 0 or 1, put it on the battlefield, then shuffle. Urza's Saga can get me Treasure Vault. That is all. As much as I hate Urza. What is the name of that Kamigawa? It says artifact. Search your library for an artifact card with mana cost 0 or 1. Put it onto the battlefield, then shuffle. Urza Saga. It can get me an artifact land. Then I can't get anything. Damn it. Damn you, Urza Saga. Be better. Wasteland. Do I run Westvale Abbey because it can flip into a monstrosity motherfucker? I'm not even gonna wait for an answer. I love Westvale Abbey so much. I've flipped it 3 times ever. And if you've ever flipped Westvale Abbey, you know that Ormondal the Profane Prince is an absolute mad lad. I freaking love this card. Because once you get him, nothing short of exiling him or tucking him is gonna do the job. He's flying, lifelink, indestructible, haste as a 9/7. I've pulled him out of my ass as a blocker once, and that just made my day. Oh. Magnifique. Oh, they want abandoned modern? Okay, Urza Saga, I guess I don't need you. Damn. Yeah, I already got Yavimaya. And now we're into the ones that I can't even use. Look at all those MDFCs. When are they going to make a Planeswalker MDFC? That would have been a cool way to do Ren in 6. Zoetic Cavern? True. That is an actual creature. We're gonna add some snow covereds. We're gonna add only one of each, just so we have them. Three mana 2/2s are the basis. The word becomes is very important when looking for man lands. Alright. So, these are all of our man lands. I think I already have Hissing Quagmire. Yep. Red-black is Lava Claw and Raging Ravine. Svargoth doesn't do anything. Okay, these don't matter. Alright, now we're going to look for specifically storage counters. Adding the quotes. We want the ones that specifically give us colored mana, so Fungal Reaches. Which, if there was a list of magic cards that just sound absolutely awful, Fungal Reaches is definitely topping that list. Oh, I guess they've never printed a Golgari storage land. Interesting. Then I guess I will add Molten Slag Heap to the mix. And then one of each non-snow basic. And Overgrown Tomb? Just Molten Slag Heap does sound like a pretty worse place to be, but do you really want Fungal Breaches? Like, let's be real. Fungal Breaches. I'm just saying. I'm like, to each their own, but I don't want no Fungal Breaches. Oh. Inbuilt crop rotation, it's got like, it removes a counter every upkeep or something like that, and then you sacrifice it. Search your library for a land card and put it onto the battlefield. The only way to not make it broken is tapped, so that you have to have Amulet of Vigor or some shit. If it comes in untapped, we're fucked. Oh, thank you for reminding me about Blast Zone. kind of want to get rid of Bajuka Bog as my 101 because it enters tapped, and I don't really do much to my opponent's graveyards. Maybe I cut the filter lands for lands that just say I lose a life, because filter lands have the problem of if you don't have the color to filter into it, then you immediately run the risk of it being mostly useless. They still tap for colorless, but I don't want a useless filter land. Did I get them both? Are there only two? Yeah, I'd rather have deals 1 damage. I would rather take 1 damage than be stuck with a semi-useless land. It does do something right now. Myriad Landscape gets me. My mountain and my snow-covered mountain. We're going exploring for how much bullshit can we get away with in this deck, Kevin. It still technically works. Do I want black-red or... I want black-green. I want the black-green pain land. So not Karpulsin, Llanowar Wastes. Okay. This is an interesting deck right now. I think I'm gonna do my actually no. Before we do the playtest, I'll go back and I'll show Kevin there are like no other walkers worth adding. This deck is very greedy. Like, that's the only way to make it work. This deck, you just have to you have to keep a decently fast hand and hope for greed. We're gonna Planeswalker, and then we're gonna sort by CMC. Okay, Kevin. This one's for you. Out of all of the walkers in this lower class, in this like the 2-3 range, I can't add Valky. I can't add Chandra. Tibalt's garbage no matter what. Red and 6 is already in. This Chandra makes only tokens that can attack, and she only gives loyalty counters to only red walkers, so I kind of don't see her as very useful, because red walkers are the least common walker in the deck. Yeah, that's my commander, but she's also double red in the early game, and I'd rather just not have that. Duretti's in here. I don't really do discard, so Davriel's kind of useless. Domri was a last minute add. Other Domri is for creatures. Freyalise is for creatures. Grist, he makes me dudes, but also he mills me. Jessica. I wish we could run greed. Jessica, I thought about adding, but she's a little too niche as well. Like, I just hold her in hand for the majority of the game, I guess. She's a good end game, but so is pretty much every other walker in this deck. Though, I also... Yeah, okay, I've actually kind of convinced myself to play Jessica. More out of a sheer want to do that ×3 damage. I thought I could only have one companion, Josh. Pretty sure legally I can only have one companion here. Unless you know some secret I don't know. Like, so long as they don't counteract or contradict. Am I wrong? Am I right? Am I reaching for straws here? Okay. Okay, actually, Ormondal Jessica does just make me... It makes me want to sing. Companions were already kind of too good when they first came out that they had to get nerfed anyway, so I get that. Josh, they literally had to ban one out of... Was it Modern? I'm pretty sure they banned one out of Modern. Or was it Legacy? Was it Luris? Luris got banned out of Modern or Legacy? I don't even know how to spell it. There it is. Luris. Let's check her bannings. Sets in legality. Banned in Legacy. She got and I only see a ban in Legacy here. Vintage, she's still legal. She is still legal in Vintage, Kevin. So if you really want to play, if you really want to go for it. That's crazy. To get banned out of Legacy is hard too. Like, Vintage is impressive. Legacy's just hard. That's funny. But yeah, you're right. Like, Black Lotus and Mox are just fine. Like, you get to have at least one of each. I gotta drop one card. It might be Mirrored Landscape. Nah, I think it's Gen Panorama. No, it gets me only basic, yeah. So I might as well get two. But it doesn't enter tapped. That's the difference between it and Myriad. This is hard. Why'd I do this to myself? Why is it gotta be so spicy? Yeah, I think it's Myriad. Zerd is banned in Legacy too. Makes sense. It's kind of like 3 mana win the game. All right, I'm gonna do a playtest and see how this goes. I'm expecting it to be kind of weird. All right, we've got a turn 3 to ready here. I think I'm gonna start with a Prismatic Vista. Pop it to get, I want a forest. I'll get the snow covered one. Just tapped. Oh, put it onto the battlefield. It just enters. Cool. Doesn't matter, but yeah, next turn. I'm gonna go with this here Lava Claw Reaches. Pass turn. Drop a Blighted Pathway. Then go Duretti Ingenious Iconoclast. He's gonna get a loyalty counter, and I'm gonna make a construct. Look at all those tokens. Let's turn 3. Oh, I would have lost life. Okay. I have a token with Defender now. We'll move to next turn. Ooh, I wish I could get that landfall trigger off of her. So we'll add this. Ancient Tomb and just drop our commander. We don't even need Umori right now. So Lord Windgrace is gonna hit the board. We're gonna immediately +2 him. Add 1, add 2. And then discard a card, then draw a card. Let's discard this mountain. If it's a land card, we draw 2. We take 2 from the Ancient Tomb. Add a loyalty counter and make another construct. Next turn. Do we go for value here? Or do we just keep... Oh no, we're going for straight up value here. Alright, alright. We're gonna add... 4 to my mana... 5 to my mana pool. Actually, no. We're gonna add a loyalty to Duretti. Create another construct. Pay 4 with 1 floating. We'll make it, say, a black. We'll add 3 mana in my mana pool. I now have 4 mana. Play Nissa. Drop Temple the Bugbear to give her a counter. He gets a counter. Windgrace. Untap target land. You control, you may have it become a 3/3 creature with haste and menace to end a turn. It's still a land. Let's untap. It's not really a land worth untapping here. So the man land, I guess. We'll activate Windgrace. Discard Tabernacle, draw 2. Next turn. If... Yeah. 7 mana Ugin, I decided not to run. The reason I say I don't like 7 mana Ugin is because my walkers are colored. They all have colors. They're very, very diverse in that regard. So, yeah, he's got like that targeted removal on him, but that board wipe is rough. Like, I can hold on to him, I guess, in my hand and just never cast him. But I have other walkers that work as board wipes too. Though he is all-encompassing, so I can see the point. Ooh, we drew Dark Depths. Let's drop it. It doesn't enter tap, but enters with 10 counters on it. No, I don't want to remove counters. We'll just say this gets a counter. I'm gonna assume I have to destroy something at some point. So we're gonna bring Xenagos up, add 3 my mana pool, and put Umori in my hand. Sacrifice an artifact to destroy something. Let's -3 Windgrace. 1, 2, 3. Turn Tabernacle and to my board. Do I want Tabernacle on a mountain? Nah, we're gonna get Prismatic Vista and a mountain and Tabernacle to the board. We're gonna pay 1, so Nissa gets 2 more loyalty counters to pop Tabernacle or to pop Prismatic Vista. Search for regular forest now. Nissa gets her 9th counter. I may put a creature card with more mana cost less than or equal to the number of lands you control to the battlefield from your hand or graveyard with an additional +2. We're gonna -5 her and bring her down to 4. And put Umori onto the battlefield. That's a sick interaction. Umori is going to choose Planeswalkers. Planeswalkers cost 1 less now for me to cast. We're going to pay... Is this the one that untaps 4? She taps a land whenever a forest is tapped. Let's go Liliana first then. Black, black, 2. And Bugbear. Dreadhorde General Liliana. Bring her up 1 to make a Zomboy. So many tokens. I have 1, 2, 3 mana left because I've used all my walkers now. Yeah, he should be a 6. Pass turn. It returns to my turn. He is a pretty easy Chainveil comboer. The best way to get a Chainveil combo off of this Xenagos is, let's see if I can remember my Gruul. My Gruul Walker combo was to use a bunch of Chandras. Was it the Chandras that make... No, all of them get rid of at the end of combat. So actually you want more like the Garuks and the Vivians so you can get a lot of creatures. But to turn your Chainveil into a creature and untap it. So... I guess you could just technically go with a artifact creature based deck that runs a decent number of walkers with good value engines, and then that make a bunch of tokens, and you can use Xenagos to pay for the triggers. And if you can untap it somehow, maybe if you Karn, the Karn that turns an artifact into a creature, then you can just continuously untap it. And if you have a Shaya, you can make it into a forest so it can be untapped. Yeah, that's the big bane of this deck, Kev, is definitely the Immortal Sun. I would kind of cry. I get 1 card. There's only 1 card I get after Immortal Sun gets played, and that is literally just Umori. But they know the gig is up as soon as I play Umori as my companion, because my commander's a Windgrace. There's an elf that untaps artifacts. If there's an elf that untaps artifacts, then you're already there. I guess I'd have to move to next turn for this. Yeah. Drill Llanowar Waste, huh? I wish I could run the Chainveil in this deck. I really do. It would be so sick. But I have to make do with just this set of walkers. All my walkers cost 1 less. Think Nissa, who shakes the world, has to be the first to come down, because I can still untap lands. Her plus, put 3+1 on the counters on up to 1 target non-creature land you control. Untap it, it becomes, I will do it to the forest. It gets 3 counters. She'll go up to 6. Still a land. Alright. Make another Zomboy. Even though, I guess realistically I'd probably do some more removing, but I'm playing this greedy. One, 2. 3. Oh no, all of my creatures would be gone anyway because of Tabernacle if I didn't pay for them. Oof, Tabernacle trigger. So I'd lose. I would have drawn an extra 1, 2, 3. I would have drawn an extra 3. Which means I can win Grace +2 to discard Llanowar Wastes to draw 1, 2. I will flip this to play it. She will get a counter. I will untap a forest, bring her up to 6. I have 1, 2. I'm at 1, 2. 2 to my mana pool with Xenagos. 3, 4. 5. Play Garruk Primal Hunter. And create a beast. This deck makes a lot of tokens. Then add a loyalty to Duretti to also make another construct with Defender. It's just very very consistent, very efficient. It chugs forward, doing what it needs to do. Okay. I usually stop playing around turn 7 because that's around critical mass for a deck uninterfered. And I think this deck's doing pretty well at turn 7, considering I never run out of lands and I always have walkers to drop. The problem would come if I run into a board wipe, or not a board wipe in terms of creatures, but a board wipe in terms of walkers, or a walker lock card like Immortal Sun. I guess better token decks would also probably make this a bit of an issue, but there's not much you can do about that unless you get one of the few walkers in here that go damage to each. I think Koth has to go though. He doesn't do anything if I don't have mountains, and mountains are very scarce for the most part here, because I don't have a way of transforming all my lands into mountains, only forests or swamps. So, I guess Karn's out. Wonder if there's another walker I can replace him with. I don't want to use the online only walkers because I feel like it's kind of weird. Because I build for paper mostly. Like, you could build these in paper if you wanted to, type of deal, but I mean, if you want to build an iteration of this deck, go for it. Davriel's fucking sweet. Maybe I want... This is a rough one. Because I want to add another walker. Luca? Nope. Creature you control. I guess Sarkhan the Dragon Speaker is pretty solid. Because he can turn into a creature. Yeah. Now I'm just gonna go through my walkers and find the coolest version of each one. Renin 6, same diff. They don't have a different printing. Ooh, Duretti's got a dope boy here. Look at that. Look at him having a blast in his mechanical walking chair. Domri, do you have a cool printing? Ah, yeah, he's got his stained glass, and then he's got his Japanese War of the Spark. I think I'm gonna let the weeb out. We're gonna go with the Japanese War of the Spark. Like, that's pretty badass. Jessica, you definitely have a dope one. It's right there, the extended border. Look at her about to murder people. I don't think Arland has a second printing of any kind. Yeah, same art. Angrath, Captain of Chaos. We'll get him his stained glass because, you know, it's pretty cool. Like, it's a pretty cool art form. Ikoria Vivian. I think I already have Ikoria Vivian in here, but we'll get down. We'll get down there to see her. Tibalt, you're also a stained glass variant. Ooh, anime Tibalt. Anime Tibalt. I know what I am. That's a cool concept for a set. I just looked up at the chat. I would actually really like that. But that could very much happen on like 3 different planes. There's like Mirrodin can be like that. Kaladesh could be like that. And that plane that Vivian originally came from that may or may not be fully destroyed could probably do that. Nissa, Voice of Zendikar. You got a cool one? Oh, I think they have Zombie Nissa for this one. Yeah. The San Diego Comic-Con. Yeah, Zombie Nissa. I want all the coolest printings in this deck. Yeah. Stained Glass Chandra. And the Torch of Defiance. This is the version I own right here. Yeah, this is the version I got. Still fucking cool. Fire. Eliwick, I don't think has a special print. Oh, she does. Oh yeah, they did do that for them. Look at her, she's having fun. Garruk the Relentless. Ooh, he's all majestic in the From the Vault Transform version. Garruk Wildspeaker. I actually prefer his original. Duels of the Planeswalkers is pretty cool too, I guess. But this one, like, it's just pretty solid. It shows how big he is. He's the dude. If I was to cast Garruk Wildspeaker, I would choose Jason Momoa. That's how swole I see Garruk. And how basically every version of him looks. Like, it would be Jason Momoa. Oh, yeah. They did, like, zombie versions of the main 5 walkers after Hour of Devastation. Yeah. So there's a zombie Gideon, there's a zombie Nissa, zombie Chandra, zombie Jace. I don't know if they did zombie Liliana, because that would be kind of all kinds of ironic. But, you know, they might have. What's next? Karn, I don't think he has a second printing. Oh, I'll be mistaken. He's shining in the sun right here. Then we got Karn the Great Creator. He has a foil. He has a stained glass foil, yep. Lily of the Dark Realms, I'm pretty sure. Oh, they did the black and white for that year. Or the black on black with the accented. Yeah, this card is worth quite a bit of money. Look at that artwork. It's beautiful. Nissa Shadow Bow. Let's go with her very autumnal version. It's like warm, even though she's still very green, but it's a very warm card, even though she added blacked, you know? We've got Tyvar. Did they make a cool Tyvar? They did. Look at this guy. He's looking for something dope. He's looking for adventure. Vraska the Golgari Queen. What is this? That's funny. Do I want her to be a badass or a meme? The meme. Let's go with the meme. Meme queen Vraska of 2017, I think. And then Vraska Swarm's Eminence. She got a stained glass. Yep. It's very pretty stained glass. Xenagos is only in foil. Zariel, we're gonna go with. Oh yeah, that's the Archduke of Avernus right there. Welcome to hell. We have an angel, and she's got a mace for a hand. Angrath the Flame Chained. It doesn't really change. Okay, this is actually the cool version of Freya-Lise in my opinion. I just really like it. Nissa Who Shakes the World. They have stained glass and anime. I actually like the stained glass more than the anime in this case. Domri is a cowbot. Makes sense. Alright, Nissa Vital Force. Ooh, what's this? It's a very pretty card. It's very serene. Does Lolth get one? She does. Lolth has an extended art too. Very Spider Queen. Grook Primal Hunter has been printed the same every time. Yep. Nissa World Waker. Mine as well, since I think these are some of the coolest arts they've ever done, using negative space and one pop of color. Obnixilus Reignited. He's got the really cool one that actually has motion in it. Obnixilus of the Black Oath I don't think has a cool one. Yeah, no, because he was a commander set. Sarkin the Masterless they have in the stained glass, but I think he's worth an anime one. Yeah, anime Sarkin. And Sarkin the Dragon Speaker was in Tarkir, so he didn't really do that. Tevish Zot looking swole as ever. Vraska the Unseen. Did they ever give her? Oh, yeah, the dual deck one is pretty cool. She's all hidden in shadow. I love this Obnixilus art. Like, I think it should be the default art for this version of him. It's so freaking cool. Ren and 7, I'm pretty sure only. Oh yeah, the pumpkin. I forgot about the Halloweeny version with the maple leaf and like the really haunting glow. Arlen, I'm pretty sure is only a stained glass. Oh no, they have an anime. I'm an anime, the wolf lady. Chandra the Flamecaller might. Oh yeah, Flamecaller was one of the ones that got the zombie treatment. She's all smoke and ash. Cardur Sarkin Prison, you say? Do go on. Garuk the Cursed Huntsman. Okay, they just have like the extended border one, which is still pretty cool. Like, look at this badass chilling with his wolves. Liliana the Dreadhorde General is, of course, in stained glass and in drawing form. The drawing form is what? The foil version of this artwork is $3,000. Jesus. Soren Markov. Oh yeah. This is the only Soren in the whole deck because all the rest care about creatures too much. But this guy can end a game. I love this. This is showing how badass Soren is. Ugin gets a stained glass because, well, I mean, the anime version is pretty cool. He looks like a kaiju. Vraska the Relic Seeker. Yeah, she doesn't really have one. and Garruk the Apex Predator. Yeah, we're gonna go with Black Air Force Energy Garruk. Yeah. This variant of Liliana is $3,000 in foil. Actually, here, I'll scroll up so y'all can see it better. It's crazy. Yeah. Players love their Lily. And Karn Liberated. I've never seen this version before. It's so old school. I love it. Damn. Well, now that this deck's been pimped out, yeah, I think it's pretty much where it needs to be at. Like, at this point, it's just tinkering with the lands. Excuse me. Whew, the gas. Tron Panorama. But yeah, it's, since it being like almost 10, we've used up the time slot I've allotted here. Thank you for coming by and watching me brew Umori Windgrace Super Friends. This deck, I feel like, is going to be decently hard to pilot, just because there's not a, like, most of the cards are at the 4 CMC slot, so you're more likely to see a 4-drop and higher than you are to see 3 and 4 drops in your hand. So be very careful of that when keeping a hand. Not all of your lands produce mana, so you gotta really read. This isn't really a deck for beginners, but if you played Super Friends before, then I would recommend trying it out, you know? Thank y'all for coming by, and yeah, I hope you have a good night or good morning or wherever you're tuning in from. Thank you for adding your input and helping me build this dope ass deck. I will drop the link to the deck list if you want to check it out and add some comments in the chat. So yeah, thank you, and remember, untap, upkeep, sip it down. Nah, drink. Thank you so much. Thank you.